Welcome back. It's another weekly vlog. I have a very busy week and a lot of things to bake that are on my list to bake and make this week. I also have 2 goals that I need to get done. These weekly goals are really helping me get my house back in order from just the chaos of life, honestly. I struggle a lot with trying to keep up with the house and 5 kids and take care of myself at the same time. So usually the house suffers when I'm focusing on everything else, and it really escapes and gets away from me, and then I have to play catch up. And usually it takes a while I'm playing catch up to get it back to normal, but I'm also at the same time trying to declutter and get rid of things that we just honestly don't need and haven't used in a long time. That was actually one of my New Year's resolution goals. I don't know if anybody does those anymore, but I had one, and decluttering and getting the house organized is my New Year's resolution. And honestly, I'm doing a really good job at it. I started in January of decluttering and slowly getting rid of things. And now that, the newborn stage has worn off with my youngest and he's starting to grow out of things, I'm starting to be able to get rid of a lot more things. He's having to put his 2 cents in. So anyways, this morning we are having hash browns and some eggs, which my oldest son is making right here. He absolutely loves making eggs. I think this is his favorite thing to make. He also likes baking with me along with my oldest twin, who is 2. And it's so amazing watching the kids grow up and the skills that they learn. My oldest son is at the point where he's able to do this stuff by himself now, of course with supervision. I'm not leaving him in the kitchen by himself, but he's able to season the eggs, crack the eggs, mix the eggs up, whereas my oldest twin needs a little bit more help, of course, because he is 2 and my oldest is 5. It's just amazing how much they learn in such little time and how they are able to grasp things at such a young age. I get a lot of hate on my other social medias when it comes to letting my kids around the stove and letting them cook with me, but I feel like this is definitely a life skill that they need to be taught at a young age, because it could always get built upon. Along with us homeschooling, baking is a science. Oh, take a quick look at the sourdough bread I made. These came out so good. I am getting better and better each time I make a loaf. Look at that crumb. I feel like that is the best crumb that I have ever made. Anyways, you can also learn a bunch of math from baking, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can learn. I also want to say how proud I am of myself. I'm going on 8 months, almost 9 months of breastfeeding and pumping my littlest one. This is the longest time I have ever done this. After breakfast, we headed out to downtown and went on a walk, played in the sprinkler, and had a picnic. We just had to get out of the house. I try to get out of the house at least 3 times a week, so this was our day to get out and have some fun and get some fresh air. Okay, we successfully did that. That was a little nerve-wracking, but I did it. We had fun. Everybody have fun?
Yeah!
Yeah, we all had fun. We played in the sprinkler, did a walk, and got some exercise. Now it's time to go back home. Hopefully the kids will nap and prepare to get ready for dinner. Today is Friday. I have a goal set for today, and I'm also going to be making the dough for my sourdough pretzel bites. I fully intended to make the dough last night, but my sourdough starter was not active enough to be able to start the dough. Today is also a goal day, so I need to get my goal done and I need to do diapers. Oh, it's going to be a busy day. Plus, my husband comes home from being gone for 2 weeks for work, and I'm really excited for him to be home because I got a laundry list of things for him to do this weekend. Now, this is actually my third time making these sourdough pretzel bites. They turned out super good. The first time was an absolute disaster, and the second time was pretty good, but I think this was really good. I actually have a video of me making the sourdough pretzel bites for the first and second time, and it was truly a disaster. I boiled them for too long. I read the recipe wrong. It said 30 seconds and I boiled them for 30 minutes instead of 30 seconds, and it completely ruined the pretzel bites. I am so sorry for the blurry videos that are coming up. I dropped the camera when we were downtown. It fell out of the Wonderful Wagon and it jammed my autofocus on my lens, which I'm really upset about. I cannot believe I did that. So if some of these clips are blurry, that is the reason why. Today's goal day is the entryway. I intend on moving this bookshelf out the way, putting everything on this bookshelf, including shoes, to clear out my entryway closet, which will now be used for a cleaning closet. So a lot of this stuff is brand deals that I have to do unboxing videos for and product reviews, and they just need to go somewhere else. It is so crazy how much I baby wear Harley. As a mom of 5, baby wearing has turned into a must that I have to do to be able to get things done around the house. When I had my first 2, I never really baby wore except for every now and again. It really tends to hurt my back a lot, but since finding this baby carrier, I do not have any back problems. I'm able to wear him on my back safely, which makes it even more easier because instead of using my back muscles to carry him around, I'm actually using my stomach muscles. So I know this video is muted. My kids were screaming in the background, so I had to mute it. But essentially what I said was I'm moving all the books from this bookshelf to the top 2 shelves because the kids just, I don't know why, but they just tend to pull all the books off of the bookshelf instead of just taking one at a time. I don't know. Maybe because we have too many books, but a lot of these books are for homeschooling and, you know, learning your numbers and your letters and things like that. And it's stuff that I don't really want to get rid of, but it's stuff I do want to keep, and just really I'm tired of the mess. So I'm putting them on the top 2 shelves. That way I can still get to them, but they can't. On the second shelf, I'm also going to be putting our diaper bags. I have one bag specifically for going out with just one child where I can just grab the things that we need and just be carrying a purse. And then the bigger diaper bag is for when I go out with all 5 kids. I also, for some reason, had a box of diapers and baby wipes in the entryway, which needed to get put to my room, so that's what I did. Now, for this bookshelf, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to see if my sister wants it. Other than that, I will probably just give it away or donate it to our local thrift store. Now, the other shelves that are on this white bookshelf, I am going to be utilizing for our shoes that are in the shoe closet that will later be turned into just the cleaning closet. Now I am, for the first time ever, making sourdough Harley making sourdough English muffins. I plan on making these muffins ahead of time, and then I will be making egg sausage sandwiches for the kiddos the next morning. If I'm baking something for the next morning, I tend to do it the day before. That way, the next morning, I'm not having to do a whole lot of work to be able to feed the kiddos breakfast. These English muffins were actually super easy to make and didn't take a whole lot of time. They just needed to essentially bulk ferment for about 4 to 5 hours. So I was able to make them within the same day. You know, unlike a lot of sourdough recipes where you have to let it bulk ferment for almost 10 to 12 hours a lot of times. So if you're wanting something that you can make in the same day, these are definitely something that you can do that with. As you can tell, hubby is home. I love it when he comes home. His job, he's having to work out of town for a little while, which it has been really hard, honestly. I have been home for weeks without him. He does come home for 24 hours, but even then it's still really hard. It feels like he never really came home just because it's so fast and he has to leave almost right away. But that will soon be coming to an end, which I'm super excited about. He'll still have to go out of town every once in a while, but he is getting transferred here where we actually live, and it's going to be really nice having him back home again. He's also expressed to me that he has missed my cooking and has missed my baking, so I have a lot of stuff planned for the week that he does come home and is able to eat what I bake and cook. This weekend we also went to an air show, which I do not advise to do with small children. I feel like they are still a little too small to actually have really enjoyed it. We did end up leaving early. We did not get to see the planes fly. They did have jumping castles and things like that they were able to play on, and they absolutely loved it. I am kind of upset that we didn't get to stay to watch the planes fly, but everybody was getting upset and was tired, and it was just hot. It was almost 95 degrees outside on top of the humidity, which made it feel even hotter. It was honestly a miserable day. But even though it was super hot, we still had fun. The kids had fun. We all enjoyed it. And it's something I definitely want to do again, but hopefully next year we'll be able to stay and watch the planes, fly. They'll be a little bit older next year, so I feel like they'll be able to enjoy it a little bit more, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I remember going with, my mom took me to the Air Force Base and watched the planes fly and stuff like that, and I remember having a lot of fun, but I also do remember it being super, super, super hot. Okay, so now I'm rolling out my dough for my English muffins, and I'm going to be using a lid from a mason jar to cut out my circles. I put cornmeal on the table to help it not stick to the table, and of course I've got little hands helping me as well, as much as they possibly can anyways. I was able to get 8 English muffins out of this dough, which I feel like is a lot. And the plus side is a lot cheaper than buying them pre-made at the store, and you know what's going in them. I'm leaning towards trying to figure out how to trying to home make everything that I possibly can and not having to buy it pre-made at the store, because I feel like they're just putting a lot of things in there that we necessarily don't really need to be consuming. I am also trying to start up a garden. I do not have a green thumb, but I am trying to turn my brown thumb green. It's definitely been an adventure. I'll have to show you guys in the next video my little seedlings that I've got started. I have tomatoes, and I've already killed 1 tomato plant, and I have killed some oregano as well. So that's I am learning as I'm going at this point. Now that I have all of my circles cut out, I just put it in the oven. The oven is not on. It's just the warmest place in my house, and I'm letting them rise for about an hour. While I let them rise, the kiddos are actually playing with the leftover dough. I feel like this was a great sensory activity. They loved rolling the dough out and using little cookie cutters to cut the dough out. And my other kiddos were eating it, which I don't know if that's 100% okay. I feel like it was a lot safer eating that than Play-Doh, which they have also done. Now, the next step in making our English muffins, you just fry them in a frying pan. I'm using my cast iron skillet because it's the pan that I had out. But I think I let them cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. You want to see them puff up a little bit. That's what the instructions said anyways. So that's what I did. And then, of course, you just flip them over and then let them cook a little bit longer on the other side. And as you can see them puffing up in the video, it's very subtle. I feel like they could have been a little bit more puffier, maybe adding a little bit more starter in them. I don't know. They definitely look a lot different than the store-bought, but I feel like if you home make something, it's going to look different than the store-bought. It's going to be imperfect, and that's okay. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to not have something perfect. Being that they are imperfect just implies that they are homemade and weren't made by a machine. Surprisingly enough, for my first time, these English muffins turned out so good. I absolutely loved eating one with honey on it. My kiddos loved the sandwiches that I made. Surprisingly enough, every one of them ate them. I have picky twin toddlers and they ate them. They didn't eat it together, of course. They sort of like picked it apart and ate it in pieces, but that's okay. They also pick their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches apart and then eat the middle of it first. It creates a big mess. I don't understand why they do that, but the toddlers do some weird things, honestly. I feel like toddlers are so funny. I love watching them, especially like when they're eating and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Why are you eating something like that? It's so funny. So here is how the sandwich came out. It looks really good. I didn't eat one because I don't like egg, but it came out really good. Now, my next thing is my goal for the day, which is cleaning up my room. My room, it, as you can tell, tends to be a disaster. It is always the last room to get cleaned and is usually the first to get cluttered the most. It is a catch-all space. The clothes that are currently in the chair right now are all of the twins' clothes. I actually had to go through and clean out their dresser and put their clothes back in their dresser from them pulling them all out. If you saw my last video last week, you saw me doing that. So now that I've gotten that done, I can work on getting their clothes back into their dresser. After I washed them, I sort of just threw them in this chair because I didn't feel like dealing with it, honestly. It felt super nice to get my room clean and back in order. I feel like, you know, when your space is clean and you wake up to a clean room, it just starts your day off a whole lot better than it would if you woke up in, you know, a chaotic room. It starts your day off in chaos, which I honestly, I do a lot. I don't know. I handle chaos pretty, you know, okay, but it's also nice to, like I said, wake up in a nice, clean, and organized room. I'm also going through their clothes and getting rid of things that they haven't really worn in a while, and being that summer is pretty much here in the South, the weather doesn't really get cold anymore. I'm putting away their, you know, their long sleeve shirts and winter clothes. I'm keeping a couple of things out because we do have some cold days. And plus I keep the house kind of cold. So my littlest you know, the one sitting right here, he tends to get cold very easily. So I keep, you know, a couple of long sleeve and pants out for him. That way I can dress him warm if he gets cold. Now, this pile of clothes is actually the youngest clothes that he has grown out of. I'm just putting them in a bag so we can donate them to our local thrift store. I cannot believe how fast he has grown out of clothes. It's crazy. He's 8 months, almost 9 months, and he is in 18-month clothes. Or actually, he's in that weird in-between. He's too big for 12 months, but 18 months is still pretty big on him. Being that he is our last baby, this was kind of hard to do. I have always just put clothes away once, you know, our kids grow out of it to save it for the next kiddo. But he is officially our last, and it's really sad that I'm getting rid of these clothes, but at the same time, it's really nice to be able to have, you know, space freeing back up again and getting rid of baby things. I'm having a lot of mixed feelings with realizing that he is our last baby. Now it is time to make dinner. Of course, here's my oldest twin. He is my kitchen helper other than my oldest of all the kiddos. He loves being in the kitchen with me. So tonight we are having kielbasa sausage and green beans, and I'm mixing some barbecue sauce in with it. This actually turned out really, really good. Surprisingly really good for how easy it was. And so it's kielbasa sausage. I use brown sugar, barbecue sauce, and some, you know, fresh green beans from our, you know, store, and put some more brown sugar on top of it. And then I just put it in the oven for I think 350 for 20 minutes. Honestly, I can't really remember, but it did turn out so good. I served it over rice. You need to make this. It's an easy dinner, and all of the kids absolutely loved it. And guys, I think that is it. Thank you for joining me for another video. Make sure you hit all of those buttons, and if you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe. I have a goal to get to 10,000 subscribers by August. And I will see you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you guys have a really great week.